Welcome to the next video of Section 4. In the previous video, we've learned how to work with scores. In this video, we'll add the final touches to the game. First on the agenda is to fix the game background. Until now, the background has simply displayed the default background color associated with the game camera. However, as the game is set in space, we should display a space background. To do this, create a new quad object in the scene that will display a space image. Navigate to Game Object, 3D Object, Quad, from the menu. Then rotate the object and move it downwards so that it displays a flat, vertically aligned backdrop. You may need to scale the object to look correct. Now, drag and drop the space texture from the project panel to quad in the scene to apply it as a material. Once assigned, select the quad and change the tiling settings from the material properties in the object inspector. Increase the X and Y tiling to 3. If the texture tiling seems broken for you, then be sure to check the texture importing settings. To do this, select the texture in the project panel, and from the object inspector, ensure that the texture type is set to texture and the wrap mode is set to repeat. Now the level has a suitable background, let's add some background music, which will play on a loop. To do this, first select the music track in the project panel in the audio folder. When selected, make sure that the music load type from the object inspector is set to streaming and preload audio data is disabled. This improves loading times as Unity will not need to load all music data to memory as the scene begins. Next, create a new empty game object in the scene named Music, and then drag and drop the music track from the project panel to the music object, adding it as an audio source component. Audio source components play sound effects and music. From the audio source component in the object inspector, enable the Play on Awake and Loop checkboxes to ensure that the music is played from the level beginning and loops endlessly for as long as the game is running. The Spatial Blend field should be set to 0, meaning 2D. In short, 2D sounds have a consistent volume throughout the level regardless of the player's position. This is because 2D sounds are not spatially located. 3D sounds, in contrast, are used for gunshots, footsteps, explosions, and other sounds that exist in 3D space, and whose volume should change based on how close the player is standing to them when they play. Now let's take the game for a test run. Click on the play button on the toolbar and test it out. If the music doesn't play, check that the Mute Audio button is not enabled, from the Game tab. Great! In the next video, we'll learn about testing and diagnosis.